The pre-budget tour is continuing for the Liberal government today, with big announcements on housing being made. Glen McGregor, our Parliament Hill correspondent, has been tracking developments for us. Glen, today's news has a $1.5 billion rental production fund. What does that mean?
It means it's money that the government is going to loan and also grant to nonprofits in order to protect the supply of affordable housing for people who are at lower incomes. Canada has been losing a lot of its supply of lower income housing and affordable housing right across the country, particularly in the big cities, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, particularly affected by this. So the idea here is that the government is going to loan money to nonprofits in order for them to renovate or acquire new property to increase that supply and protect it from developers who might be coming in and buying these buildings and then renovating them and selling them for a lot more money. The Prime Minister was in Winnipeg today talking about this. Here he explains the problems that some of these nonprofits are facing.
Unfortunately, too many of those places are under constant threat of being demolished to build condos or sold to speculators and large corporations that will increase rents at turnover. People are being priced out of their communities, and that's not okay. So we have to help nonprofits and community partners acquire units and preserve rents at a stable level.
The real question, though, is whether or not this amount of money, $1.5 billion, is really going to make a dent in this problem. Will it be enough for those nonprofits to kind of compete in what is a very aggressive housing market in the big cities right now, and whether or not they will actually be able to protect that supply, or whether or not more money is needed? Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland and Olivia Chow were both in Toronto today, kind of echoing this press conference that the Prime Minister gave earlier in the day in Winnipeg, saying this money is going to make a difference in Toronto. It's going to help get people off the street, Melissa, and into permanent homes.
Something else we're keeping an eye on today is that federal inquiry into foreign affairs. What's interesting today is that we've heard previously from politicians and former politicians kind of their take on the matter. Who are we hearing from today?
Today has mostly been bureaucrats and the police. So we heard this morning from officials from Global Affairs Canada talking about the rules that apply to foreign diplomats when they get posted into Canada. And the suggestion is they're talking about foreign diplomats from China, Russia, and India, primarily a little bit from Iran as well. And that rule is, under the Vienna Convention, they can't participate in the Canadian electoral process. They can't go out and vote, for example, of course, because they're not Canadian citizens, and they can't give money either directly or indirectly. And those are some of the things, some of the allegations about foreign interference concerning both the 2019 and 2021 election campaigns we've heard. We also heard from the Commissioner of the RCMP, Michael Duheme, and he said today that despite a lot of the attention we've heard about alleged foreign interference in those last two election campaigns, his force didn't get any complaints that would amount to something requiring a criminal investigation. However, Duheme said, though, since then, of course, a lot of publicity, a lot of media reporting about this, that they have launched some investigations. He wouldn't say exactly how many, and he wouldn't say what stage they are, but one of them involves Southern Ontario MP Michael Chong, who, of course, last year said that he had been told by CSIS that there had been attempts by the Chinese government, the PRC, to essentially intimidate his family back in Hong Kong because of his position on the democracy movement in Hong Kong and the treatment of the Uyghur and Muslim minorities in China. So scary stuff. So that investigation apparently is ongoing right now. We don't know which way it's going, whether it'll result in any charges. But we can tell you, though, that last year, one Chinese diplomat was expelled. Unclear if it's directly related to the Chong matter or not, but this is kind of an open file, and we'll be watching to see, Melissa, in months to come, whether or not any actual criminal charges result from any of this.
Yeah, still more to come there. Parliament Hill correspondent Glen McGregor, thanks so much for that.
Thanks, Melissa.